only channel to have accessed this seizure memo. Times Now leading the coverage with the inside track, now with the document trail. 2 pages that list the number of things and the nature of things that were recovered from Partha Chatterjee's residence. Let's look at point number 1. Deed number 3363 dated 6th August 2020, and this is the company that you're talking about. And this company, Tamal is telling us, belongs to Arpita. Let's go to point number 2. Deed number 1089 dated 2022 in name of HA or AK Entertainment, belongs to Arpita. Deed number 3794, again the same company, that belongs to Arpita. Deed number 4, Arpita's name directly mentioned here. It says deed of conveyance 6879 dated 2011 in name of Arpita Mukherjee. Deed number 5, the same company, HA Entertainment Limited, belongs to Arpita. So you have HA here, 1, 2, 3, then HA again, 4. So of the 9 points, 5 are HA Entertainment, company that Arpita owns or allegedly owns. And then the next 4 pointers on page number 1 directly mentions Arpita Mukherjee. Let's try and go back to page number 2. Let's go to point number 2, page number 2 of the seizure memo here, and here I have it. Here it is. Point number 10, deed number 2758 dated 26th April 2019 in name of Arpita Mukherjee. Then if you see the next point, that also has the name of Arpita Mukherjee. Deed number 08120 dated 2017. Point number 12, Arpita Mukherjee again. Point number 13, bunch of papers relating to recommendation for appointment, transfer of post and candidates admit card found at top Bengal minister's residence. Now part of the ED probe list. Copy of deed of assignment between Suneha Education Society and Pincon Educational Trust. We don't know the credentials of this company, who owns it, or the people involved. Point number 15, copy of documents relating to the revised result of the exam. Then point number 16 talks about the various handsets that were recovered. And point number 17 is about the hard disk that had the data dump of it. Tamal.
Well, Pranesh, very important observation. In all these, columns, there is a slight difference between point number 12 or point up till point number 12 and point number 14. Now, from 1 to 12, you have it's written by Enforcement Directorate that deed of conveyance, deed of so and so property. But if we come to point number 14, it says copy of deed. So basically there is a difference between copy of deed and the original deed. The reason why we are certain...
Right, sorry to interrupt there, and for Tamal, we are also joined by Agnimitra Paul on the phone line. And Agnimitra Paul, your first response to this latest information that we have gathered. ED has now found several registry deeds of properties and investments that have been named after Arpita Mukherjee. These deeds were also kept with Partha, and the suspect is that the investments were done by Partha on the name of Arpita Mukherjee.
Yes, that's what we are hearing, that our question is, how come, these properties were done by Mr. Partha Chatterjee in Arpita Mukherjee's name. Another lady's name is coming up, Mona Lisa Das. In her name also, there are huge number of properties in Shantiniketan. So, and after all these things, TMC is saying that they don't have any connection with Arpita Mukherjee and they don't know who is Arpita Mukherjee. Where we are seeing a stage program and many other Trinamool programs where Arpita Mukherjee is present there, and Honorable Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee is saying that, her whatever she is saying shows that she has very close relation with Arpita Mukherjee. So how much TMC tries now, or Honorable Chief Minister tries to distance themselves from Partha Chatterjee, they will fail. And that is the track record of Mamata Banerjee, that whenever there is a chance of using somebody, she uses and then she throws away that person. We have seen that with Chhatrodar Mahato, we have seen that with Kishanji, and now with Partha Chatterjee, she can't really throw away. When Partha Chatterjee chose to, call Mamata Banerjee so many times, and in this kind of times, one calls up only a person who is very close to that person. in these troubled times. But when Partha Chatterjee chose to call Mamata Banerjee, she didn't pick up the call. So this shows what kind of a person she is. She doesn't want to, have.
But Agnimitra Paul, does this also mean that the TMC will have to answer much more, because this is not just about 22 crores of cash anymore? This is a much bigger scam that we are looking at. These are deeds of investments that have been named after Arpita Mukherjee. These are properties named after her.
Yes, of course. And not only, that's what we are saying, that not only Partha Chatterjee, there are innumerable number of leaders in TMC who are associated with this kind of corruption. And the main person is Kalighat. I've always said that main person is Kalighat, under whose instruction these things have been going on. So first, the person who needs to be arrested is Honorable Chief Minister. Because, nothing happens in West Bengal without her instruction, without her nod. How can she distance herself right now? Honorable Court had told her a million times to, remove these ministers from her cabinet. But she didn't listen. Now she's saying that now her spokesperson is saying that, if we have full faith on the Honorable Court, and if the court says we will remove and we will do this. What were you all doing? A month back, when the Honorable Court had told you all repeatedly that for a, healthy society, we need to remove these kind of people. You didn't listen. And right now you are saying that's only because she knows that if Partha Chatterjee opens his mouth, then Honorable Chief Minister will be in trouble, because everything happened with her nod.
All right, thank you so much, Agnimitra Paul of the BJP, joining us here on Times Now. Let me go back to Tamal, and Pranesh also continues to join us live. Tamal, yes, you were showing us more details from the documents that we have accessed, because you remember ED sources say that they are still verifying these properties as to how did Arpita Mukherjee manage to amass so much of wealth, and also if they were all Partha's money. Why else will Partha Chatterjee really keep these deeds with him?
Well, at least 12 such deeds which clearly highlight that there had been a matter of interest or a point of interest on part of Partha Chatterjee in properties which either belong to Arpita Mukherjee or in companies where Arpita Mukherjee is a director. Question is why? Why would you have an interest? And question is, why would you keep all the original deeds? The ED has very specifically highlighted the distinction between original deed and a copy of a deed. If point number 14 says there is a copy of a deed of a so-and-so thing has been recovered from Partha Chatterjee's residence, ED has also clearly mentioned deed of so-and-so properties have been found from the house of Partha Chatterjee. So whether Partha Chatterjee had kept the original deed with him to keep a track of kind of investment he has done on the name of Arpita Mukherjee, that's the big question. And whether these investments have been done from the proceeds of alleged scam, because minded Enforcement Directorate, after the recovery of 22 crore rupees, 56 lakh of forex, 75 lakhs of gold, and of course 22 SIM cards and 22 mobile phones from the house of Arpita Mukherjee, had suggested that this is possibly not the end. This is just not it. There could be much more than this. In fact, in the remand note of Arpita Mukherjee, Enforcement Directorate had clearly mentioned that there are people connected with this money. There are more properties, immovable and movable properties on the name of Arpita Mukherjee, which have now come under the scanner of the Enforcement Directorate. The question is there a direct link between Partha Chatterjee and the properties which have been named after Arpita Mukherjee? That's something that Partha Chatterjee will have to explain. What were these deeds doing at his residence?
Details that we'll keep a close watch on, Tamal, and